Hi, Zion Lutheran and friends. Welcome to our next hymn sing. We're so happy to be with you. We have 3 singers today and 1 piano player and 1 speaker. So our first hymn that we'd like to sing with you is Great is Thy Faithfulness, found in your Lutheran service book, page 809. Here's a little background for you. Thomas Chilsholm was born in Franklin, Kentucky in 1866. He died in 1960. His boyhood was spent on a farm and in teaching district schools. He spent 5 years as editor of the local paper at Franklin. He was converted to Christianity at the age of 26, and soon after was business manager and office editor of the Pentecostal Herald in Louisville, Kentucky. In 1903, he entered the ministry of the M.E. Church South. His aim in writing was to incorporate as much scripture as possible and to avoid flippant and sentimental themes. We'll sing together, Great is Thy Faithfulness. Our next selection is In the Garden. Austin Miles attended Philadelphia College of Pharmacy and the University of Pennsylvania. He was born in 1868 and died in March 10th, 1946. In 1892, he abandoned his career as a pharmacist and wrote his first gospel song, List Tis Jesus' Voice, which was published by the Mac Hall Company. He served as editor and manager at the Mac Publishers for 37 years. In his own words, "It is a writer of gospel songs I am proud to be known, for in that way I may be one of the most to use my master's name, whom I serve willingly, although not as efficiently as in my desire." We'll sing together "In the Garden." Eternal Father, strong to save. Your Lutheran Service Book, page 717. William Whiting was born in Kensington, London, November 1st, 1825. He died in 1878. He was educated at Clapham. He was for several years master of the Winchester College Choristers' School. His Rural Thoughts and other poems were published in 1851, but contains no hymns. His reputation as a hymn writer is almost exclusively confined to his Eternal Father, strong to save. We sing together.
When we cry
556, Lutheran Service Book. Not a lot of information available about this hymn. It was likely composed by enslaved African Americans in the 19th century. It was first published in William Elzar Barton's 1899 Old Plantation Hymns. In 1940, it was included in the Episcopal Church Hymnal, making it the first spiritual to be included in any major American hymnal. Were you there? We'll sing together. Well, today we have singing with us Rachel, we have Susie, we have Jeanette, and we have Maxine on the piano. And of course, you know who I am. We'll sing together Holy, 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 found on your Lutheran Service Book, page 507. Reginald Heber was born in 1783 into a wealthy, educated family. He died in 1826. He was a bright youth, translating a Latin classic into English verse by the time he was 7, entering Oxford at age 17 and winning 2 awards for his poetry during his time there. After his graduation, he became rector of his father's church in the village of Hodnet near Shrewsbury in the west of England, where he remained for 16 years. He was appointed Bishop of Calcutta in 1823 and worked tirelessly there for 3 years until the weather and travel took its toll on his health, and he died of a stroke in 1826. Most of his 57 hymns, which include Holy, 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 are still in use today. We'll sing together. Behold a host arrayed in white, found in your Lutheran service book, page 767. Hans Adolf Brorson was born in 1694 and died in 1764. He was a Danish pietist bishop and a hymn writer. Brorson belonged to a clerical family. Both of his brothers were energetic and successful vicars. He began publishing hymns in 1732 while a pastor in southern Jutland. His most important work was in 1739, called The Rare Jewel of the Faith, which contained many translations of German pietist hymns and 82 original pieces that went through 7 editions in Brorson's lifetime. He was elected Bishop of Ribe in 1741, where he remained for the rest of his life. His outward social success as a clerical administrator was contrasted by private sorrows. He had an insane son, the early death of his first wife, but he resigned himself to his fate. Some of these problems were probably reflected in the second book of hymns, Swan Song, which was published in 1765. From this collection must be mentioned the still popular and hopeful funeral hymn, Here Will Be Silent. Almost forgotten after his death, but rededicated during the Romantic period, Brorson is now ranked among the 4 greatest Danish hymn writers. He is buried in Ribe Cathedral. We'll sing together.
This
Thou My Vision, written by Mary Elizabeth Barron. She was born in 1880. She died in 1931. She was an Irish linguist, author, and journalist. She translated the Old Irish hymn into English as Be Thou My Vision. I won't attempt to read the Irish. Maybe I will. Be Thusa Mo Sheli. That means Be Thou My Vision. A linguist, Byrne received her education from the Dominic Covenant in Dublin and the National University of Ireland, where she graduated in 1905. She received the Chancellor's Gold Medal at the Royal University of Ireland. She worked for the Board of Intermediate Education and helped compile the catalog of the Royal Irish Academy. Be Thou My Vision. I don't think some of the words matched up with the hymnal words. Any comment, Maxine?
None.
We'll have a review. We'll have a replay on that one. See?
I took it right out of the sheet of paper. Okay.
Technology.
So, just want you to know, we're going to sing the next one. I'm But a Stranger Here, Lutheran Service Book 748. Thomas Taylor wrote this sometime as a congregational minister in Bradford, Yorkshire. It was in 1807 when he wrote this. He was educated at the Free School, Bradford, and the Leaf Square Academy in Manchester. From the age of 15 to the age of 18, he was engaged first in a merchant's and then in a printer's office. Influenced by strong religious desires, he entered the Airedale Independent College at 18 to prepare for the congregational ministry. His first and only charge was Howard Street Chapel in Sheffield. This he retained about 6 months, entering upon the charge in 1830 and leaving it in January the following year. For a short time, he acted as a classical tutor at the Airedale College, but the failure of health, which compelled him to leave Sheffield, also necessitated his resigning his tutorship. He died in March of 1835. A volume of his memoirs and select remains by W.S. Matthews in which were several poems and a few hymns, was published in 1836. His best known hymn is I'm But a Stranger Here. So let's sing together. Perfect.
I know what happened to the other one.
What happened, Maxine?
I copied the words off the internet and then I found
The sheet?
sheet at work in a Baptist hymnal.
Well, there you go. You should have went to the Lutheran hymnal instead of the Baptist hymnal.
It's not his one.
Oh, it's too bad because I know that song. Was it in the TLH?
No,
It hasn't been in the Lutheran hymnal?
No.
We sing it though.
No.
I've heard it in the Lutheran circles.
no,
Okay. Then I must have been at the Baptist church.
no, it's not in TLH.
Well, we'll sing the next song then.
It is.
We'll have more comedy for you on the next show here at Let's Sing a Hymn. Stand up for Jesus. It's found in your Lutheran service book, page 660. George Duffield, son of a Presbyterian minister, was born in Carlisle, Pennsylvania in 1818 and graduated at Yale College and from the Union Theological Seminary in New York. From 1840 to 1847, he was a Presbyterian pastor in Brooklyn. 1847 to 1852 at Bloomfield, New Jersey. 1852 to 1861, he was a pastor in Philadelphia. 1861 to 1865 at Adrian, Michigan. 1865 to 1869 at Galesburg, Illinois. 1869 at Saginaw City, Michigan. And from 1869 at Ann Arbor, Lansing, Michigan. Stand up for Jesus, soldiers of the cross. The origin of this hymn is given in Lyrica Sac America, 1868. That's the name of a hymn book. It's found on page 298 of this specific hymn book, and here's what he wrote about the hymn, Mr. Duffield. I caught its inspiration from the dying words of that noble young clergyman, Reverend Dudley Akins Ting, rector of the Epiphany Church, Philadelphia, who died about 1854. His last words were, "Tell them to stand up for Jesus. Now let us sing a hymn." As he had been much persecuted in those pro-slavery days for his persistent course in pleading the cause of the oppressed, it was thought that these words had a peculiar significance in his mind. As it had been said, stand up for Jesus in the person of the downtrodden slave. Based on Luke chapter 18, we'll sing together, stand up for Jesus.
Stand
I have to share a story. The singers are laughing. They're laughing. They don't want to laugh out loud. I don't know why. But my story is the old sainted Pastor Roy Radloff, back when I started here at Zion, I had the song Stand Up for Jesus as the offering song. And after the service, he came to me and said, "Son, when we sing stand up for Jesus, you better put it in a place where we can stand up for Jesus and sing." So I remembered that all of my life, our career so far. So I don't put that song in a place unless we can stand up for Jesus. Just a short song, or a short story from Pastor Greg. Well, the last hymn that we have for you today, Lord, Take My Hand and Lead Me. Don't we need that this day? Lutheran Service Book 722. Julie Katrina von Hausmann. She was born in 1826. She died in 1901. Was a Baltic German poet known for the hymn, Lord, Take My Hand and Lead Me. Julie Hausmann was the daughter of a teacher. She worked for a while as a governess, but due to her ill health, she lived with and cared for her father, who had gone blind. After his death in 1864, she lived with her sisters in Germany, southern France, and St. Petersburg, Russia. She died during a summer vacation in Estonia. Her poetry was published by others, including Gustav Knack, without mentioning her name at her request. We'll sing together, Lord, Take My Hand and Lead Me. Well, I hope you enjoyed our hymn sing. We had fun singing together and bringing you these hymns. Have we got more hymns submitted, Maxine? So if you want more hymns and more hymns sing, we have one more submitted so far. We probably need about 8 or 9 more. I'd like to have 10, so please. Some praise, okay, so you can submit praise songs as well. We can sing those. So go ahead and keep submitting hymns and songs, and we will continue to come together and sing so we can be together even though we're apart. God bless you. We love you so much and miss you, and we'll see you soon.